What's going on, guys? It's your boy Hammer back with another supplement review, and today I've got a freaking a little bit of an underground hitter. I wouldn't quite classify this as bathtub pre-workout, but definitely a little bit more of the underground. You ain't seeing this one in a GNC or a vitamin shop. So, without further ado, I gotta lift, you gotta lift. Let's get down to business, because today we are talking about Dystopia. All right, so Dystopia, what is this boy all about? Well, this is one that's got some pretty bold label claims. And when you see this kind of stuff on the label, it's one of those ones that, honestly, you probably are just going to have to try it to find out and see how your experience lines up with the claims. And we're going to have to judge for ourselves. So I ran the hitter. I'm here to let you know if I think this one has the goods, if it's worth your dollar, and where you might be able to get it. So let's pop that label up on screen. Maybe I'll use some fancy new age editing techniques to blur some stuff. So we might have to use our inference skills to understand what's going on in this pre-workout. We've got 1 scoop coming in at 13 grams, 30 servings per container. That's important because this is one that realistically might be being ran at a 1.5 serve, so this might be 20 servings per container. But we're going to talk about it. We have L-citrulline at 6 grams. That's going to be your pumps, vasodilation, nitric oxide. Beta-alanine at 3 grams for lactic acid buffering, endurance benefits, a little bit of a tingle sensation. Taurine for cellular hydration, muscle function and contraction benefits, as well as some of the other ingredients helping them work to their optimal degree. Agmatine sulfate at 1 gram to inhibit the breakdown of arginine, make that pump last a little bit longer. Also has some focus and nootropic benefits to a small degree. DMAE at 500 milligrams. That's going to modulate kind of your choline receptors in your brain, give it a nice mood lift and mood boost. Then we have caffeine anhydrous at 350 milligrams, just straight up caffeine anhydrous, no blend there. And at a 1-to-1 ratio, we have L-theanine at 350 milligrams. Not a big fan of theanine in pre-workouts, to be honest. It's used to kind of help smooth out the, excessive, any kind of jitters or over the top, any anxiety that's associated with higher stim products, and help refine the experience to make it a little bit more focused and just get the focus and energy without any of the negatives. But in my opinion, it's a little bit too sedative and calming, and at a high dose, I could get by with 50 or 100 milligrams of theanine. I do not like to see it at a 1-to-1 ratio personally. But we're going to talk about the experience. We have the AA coming in at 80 milligrams. Is that what's really in here? We're going to talk about it. And then we have the HA at 75 milligrams. And then finally, black pepper at 10 milligrams. So those two stimulants are obviously the exotic stimulants, the main firepower behind this one, and what would literally be the make it or break it of this pre-workout. Beyond that, it's a completely standard, your beta-alanine, citrulline, some other extras and 350 of caffeine. So if those two things are in here at the dosage they claim, this can be a pretty awesome stim ride. If they're not, this is a complete dud. So what do I think? Well, I took the drink down. I believe this is Juice Punch is the flavor. Never heard of that flavor. This one tastes pretty freaking good. This is a pretty good tasting pre-workout. This one took a while to get going. I would say probably about 30-40 minutes to realistically get to a level where I was feeling anything beyond just a little bit of caffeine and beta-alanine. And then it started to hit A little bit of head buzz, like just a little bit. Like I thought it was like, okay, because I really like that feeling. I like my illicit days I'm not just looking for energy and stimulation. I could get that with Altheo and caffeine, Ariadurensis. I want a next level, like a buzzing, head pulse, like borderline, like euphoric, like body feeling. So it kind of got a little bit of that going on, but not to a high degree. But then a kind of next level focus came in. Very focused, very alert, very locked in beyond what caffeine is going to do. So it's interesting because I didn't really get, and also granted the DMHA, or the HA in here, the 2-amino, is at a pretty low dose. So if that was even, that might be in here at exactly the dose they're claiming. Because even though I ran this one a couple grams heavy, round the scoop on this boy, this one's got a pretty funny looking scoop. Let me show you guys. Little freaking half domer here, right? So look at this guy. So a typical scoop, when you heap it, it ain't gonna do much extra. When you heap this one, you could get a decent amount of extra grams. So realistically, I was pushing some extra grams on this. Also, full disclosure, I think if you ran this straight at the 13, I've heard from other people that echo the same sentiment, and after running this, my opinion would be straight at 13 grams of serving size, this would be very disappointing. But that being said, if you're pushing this one up to closer to that 19 grams, I know some people give me crap about that. Like people have said, because I talked about running Deliverance at a higher dosage, and it's like, oh, if you run any pre-workout at 1.5 the servings, it's going to blow your head off and be awesome. But it's like, no. These are calculated decisions I make based on the ingredients in the pre-workout. Like, for example, I would never run Maniaco at 1.5 servings because it has 300 milligrams of 2-amino already in it. The reason I ran Deliverance at 1.5 servings was because it has 200 of the 2-amino. So I wanted to push that to the 300 milligram dose because I know 300 milligrams of that particular ingredient is kind of my sweet spot. It's also sub 400 milligrams of caffeine. And I know that on a high stim day, 600 is about as high as I want to push my caffeine. It's only got 2 milligrams of alpha-yo. So at 1.5 servings, that's 3 milligrams, which is kind of a sweet spot for my high stim days. I'm not just out here advising people to take, I never tell anyone to run the pre-workout higher than the serving size. This is all your choice. Run it at the size it tells you on the container. I'm just telling you my personal experience. But that being said, when I make the decision to titrate up a certain pre-workout, it's done very intelligently and calculated. For example, Legit Pre V2 is another one that I run at a different dose than the label says. And it's not just, oh, it says, you know, I don't know the exact grammage. Oh, it says 12, I'm going to try 20. It's not that. What I do is it's a calculation. So if that has, I believe, 225 milligrams of 2-amino in it, and I wanted to get a 300 milligram dosage, I do the math of what fraction of 300 is 225, then whatever, you know, say 1.2, whatever it is, then I'll do that times the serving size to get the dose I want to get in the end. I'm not just willy-nilly telling you to throw multiple servings or whatever. So it's, whenever anyone comments about that, just, I'm not telling you to do that. And also, anytime I make that decision, I'm looking at the ingredient list, calculating the dosages, making sure I'm staying within realms that I want to hit. But that being said, getting back to this one, if even with a little bit of extra grams on this one, the 2-amino would still be dosed pretty low. So I don't think I would be getting that super head buzzing, floaty, euphoric type feeling from it. So maybe it is in here at exactly the dose they're saying. There's definitely something extra beyond caffeine. Do I think AA is in this one? I don't think so. I didn't get that like lock-in aggressive feeling where I have like this intensity that has to come out of me. But there are a couple pre-workouts this feels very similar to. I would say Force of Nature, number one, and that makes the same claim of those two ingredients on label, where it's not like That one's a very lock-in focus, Also very similar to Kratos, which I recently ran. So all three of those pre-workouts claim this. So I think what's happening is in this manufacturing, they have some kind of stimulant that provides a unique effect, a unique benefit, but I don't think it's actually AA. I think it's something else. So anyway, I was saying with this one, I went to the gym. I had this extra focus, this kind of very smooth energy. There's no alpha yo in here, so you don't get like that driving sense of urgency. You're basically driven by the caffeine and then whatever the HA and whatever else is going on in here, which gave me an extra focus, an extra ability to lock in. I didn't feel like completely like I wanted to keep my headphones and stay onto myself. A friend of mine who I haven't seen in a couple months was at the gym today, and we weren't training together, but we were training in the same vicinity. So between sets, we would be chatting up. And I found it very easy to chat up, and then time for my set, lock in, refocus, and train hard. I did perform very well today, strength-wise. My heart rate didn't get so high that I felt like I was like sitting there like over taking too much time to recover. I wouldn't say I really crashed on this one either. So a lot of times when you take some of these kind of shadier pre-workouts that maybe have like a dirty stimulant in them, they'll provide like this super, intense workout, but then like the come down is horrible. I wouldn't say I got that with this one. It's very clean, just consistent energy, a lot of focus, able to kind of flip that switch very easily and lock into my sets. Great mind-muscle connection. Like I said, very similar to Force of Nature, very similar to Kratos. I liked this better than Kratos. I don't know if I would say I like it more than Force of Nature. So my personal take is I like it more than Kratos, not quite as much as that one. And yeah, man, I don't know what to say. I trained for a long time today and was able to keep that kind of drive and focus throughout the whole workout. Overall, pretty positive experience. Would I say this is one you have to track down and get? Not necessarily. However, if you like a good 2-amino or possibly something else, a good focus, illicit feeling pre-workout, because this definitely feels like something beyond caffeine and beyond 2-amino, but it doesn't quite have that euphoric head buzzing, like floating, you're like on one. It doesn't quite have that, but it does have like an extra focus for sure. And obviously everyone's going to experience that a little bit differently. But if you like that kind of pre-workout with no alpha yo, like if you are one of these guys like, oh, what can I get that's like a high energy, strong, illicit pre-workout with no alpha yo, then that's where I would say you probably want to have this one on your short list of ones to check out. For me, I love my alpha yo. So I'll take an alpha yo pre. I'll take alpha yo and my illicit pre's all day long. So that being said, for me, this wouldn't be one that I have to grab, but I did like it. Like I said, I liked it more than Kratos. But I'm not sure where you could get this one. I've reached out to Jake over at NutriCartel. I'm trying to figure out if he gets back to me. I will link this one not only in the description, but also the pinned comment of the video. Because I think I recall recently on a Q&A, someone brought this pre-workout up and he said it is available, but it's not listed on the site. So you might be able to either reach out directly or be given a specific link to buy it. So I'm trying to clarify if that's the case. But if you can't get it there, you can always get your other hitters at NutriCartel.com. Remember, your boy Hammer is a shill and a con man according to Reddit, so I gotta push my coupon code at NutriCartel because from my coupon code, I'm getting super rich. I'm buying Lamborghinis left and right every other week. But anyway, if you found the video helpful, please click like, click subscribe, click all the buttons, do all things. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Alex Hammerstone. If you want to hit me up for coaching, that email will be in the description below. I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll catch you on the next supplement review.